Unbeknownst to her, the rain that Ororo had called down on the Uzuri village was pulled from the moisture of the environments, people, and the animals of the surrounding villages in the Kilimanjaro Valley. And consequently, the surrounding villages were now experiencing an even worse drought. In her zeal, it appeared that young Ororo had unknowingly condemned hundreds of animals to death by rapid dehydration in the African summer. Having observed Ororo for days now, and sensing the damage done to the surrounding villages, the priestess of the Uzuri village finally reveals herself, and she introduces herself as Ainet. Ainet thanked Ororo for her kind but naive gesture, and she quickly showed Ororo what she had done. And Ororo was devastated. Hoping to comfort her, Ainet explained to Ororo that her power actually allows her to move around existing weather patterns as opposed to creating new weather. Ainet says to Ororo that she can fix the problem simply by properly distributing the rain. And although Ororo barely knew her, she instantly trusts the witch-priestess. Together, they quickly set out into the surrounding plains, and Ainet showed Ororo how to use her gifts as never before, to gently cajole, caress, and repair the cycle of life in the plains. And over time, the Dirt Witch Ainet and Ororo become close. Ainet even offers Ororo a room in her own home, which Ororo accepts. There was something different about Ainet that Ororo did not get from Ahmed El-Jabbar or Teacher. Ainet's motherly love saw past Ororo's considerable anger, and she could see that, besides being the next Wind Rider, Ororo was only a frightened, very confused child in need of love. Ainet reminded the hardened, solitary, heartbroken Ororo of things that life had tried to make her forget: trust, respect, and dignity. And although she could never replace Princess Nader, Ororo ceremoniously adopts Ainet as her mother. And as several more weeks pass, Ainet and now 18-year-old Ororo continue to train in the Uzuri village. Ainet, the Dirt Witch, teaches Ororo how to speak to the forces of nature as if she herself was a witch. Ainet teaches Ororo how to speak in incantations to animate the elements, as if she is literally giving wind and lightning both life and consciousness. And the more they train in the village, the more the people of Uzuri start to spread the faith of Ororo, the new rain goddess. And the more people that place faith in Ororo grow amongst the village, to Ainet's delight, the more powerful her daughter becomes. And Ororo, unsure of her own identity, not wanting to displease her new mother, and more curious about her powers and abilities than ever, trusts Ainet to mold her. And Ainet wastes no time conditioning Ororo mentally and emotionally to behave and appear as the deity Ainet now saw her as. She trains Ororo how to reject all signs of humanness, including clothing and emotions. For what need does a goddess have with clothing or extreme human feelings? And Ainet refines Ororo's mannerisms, speech, and temperance. She tells her daughter that if her birth mother was indeed a Kenyan princess, then Ororo should indeed behave as royalty. as a queen. And Ainet crowns Ororo with a beautiful ebon tiara. Ainet says that the tiara, which is in the likeness of the crown of the Egyptian sky goddess Isis, a disc with 2 horns on each side, shall be a sign of Ororo's true godhood. And Ainet proclaims to the Uzuri tribe that the goddess Ororo shall be the reign god of all the Uzuri people. Nearly a year passes since Ororo's coronation as the god of the Uzuri people, and now 19 years old, the young woman Ororo, having performed many feats for her new tribe and across her beloved Africa, has a growing following of worshippers, and their worship keeps her powers potent. So potent, in fact, that when men come to her stone portal with humility in their hearts, and their voices raised in praise, crying to her in prayerful supplication, Ororo travels by lightning, appearing instantly before them. Meanwhile, however, in America, there is a man that disagrees with Ororo's godhood. Professor Charles Xavier remembers the girl that once stole his wallet over 12 years ago in Cairo, Egypt, and he remembers the subsequent battle with the Shadow King. Since that battle, Xavier has been watching many mutants for his new school for the gifted. He has settled on 5 American mutants, and he wants to ask Ororo and 2 other international mutants to also join his school as his first students. But alas, he decides to wait. For how does a man ask a goddess to give up her world?